Hello, so I'm back making a part 2 to the morality video I started earlier. It's currently 4:30 in the morning, and I'm awake for some reason, so yeah, I can't remember exactly what I was talking about, partially because I'm tired and partially because it was a few hours ago that I actually made the video. But I feel like I ended it off somewhere with saying that a belief is something that we believe, whether it's false or not, we believe that belief, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to coherently get back into this topic right now. um, but yeah, a belief is something that isn't necessarily true, but it's something that we believe to be true. We don't have beliefs that we believe to be false. If we believe something to be false, then we don't believe it to be true. We don't believe it. We don't hold that belief. We don't affiliate ourselves with that. I can't remember the point I was trying to make before, but I was going somewhere with that. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's because just because you believe something, it doesn't make it objectively true or objectively correct. Just because some cultures think it's okay to murder for certain crimes, that doesn't make it objectively okay, if that makes sense. That just means that the individual believes it to be true, or perhaps the society believes it to be true as a whole, because that's just how the culture is. A culture is essentially just a collection of people who hold norms and values, and they hold almost similar norms and values to each other, which makes up that culture. It's like a similar group of people. If you took a Western person and looked at a Western culture, that's going to be a lot different to an Eastern culture. And then obviously that makes us question, looking at the negative parts of the cultures, are some cultures better than others? And debatably yes. In fact, definitely yes. Or maybe not cultures as a whole, but ideas within a culture or beliefs within a culture. Some beliefs just don't seem to have a foundation in morality, or a moral foundation to back them up. And I think a big part of that is in the East, with where they're still quite governed by religious doctrines, almost like especially in places like Islam, where the Quran, where the country is pretty much governed by the religious scripture of the Quran and the Sharia law, which is derogatory towards women. And just because that is advocated in the law and advocated in the religious scriptures, that doesn't make it okay. And just because everybody believes that, just because everybody believes that to be true, that doesn't make it true. So you can believe something and it's true to you, but it doesn't make it objectively true, if that makes sense. I'm sorry my phone's at a weird angle. It's because it's gonna die. I've really picked a good time to make this video. Yeah. So you can have everything you believe to be true. It would make no sense whatsoever to have a belief that you know to be false. But then again, believing something doesn't make it true in reality. It just means that you perceive it to be true. So if you express an opinion or express a belief about the world or a view, and you believe it to be true when it really has no objective basis in reality, then you should be willing to retract or change your belief based on being displayed evidence which says otherwise about the belief that you hold. And I guess we could talk a bit about religions here. I know I've already touched on it a minute ago with Islam, but people in religions generally, they don't like to be criticised. We put religion in a category which is it's different to anything else. It's like you can criticise politics, fine. You can criticise art, you can criticise music, you can criticise food. And I know Richard Dawkins did it. He wrote because I've started reading the God Dillusion, which is one of his books, and at the start I've got the 10th anniversary edition, and at the start he basically responds to criticism. to critics who have wrote about the God Delusion in a derogatory manner, and they've criticised his aggressive way of going about criticising religion. But then he makes a good point. It's like, well, when people, he gives examples of people criticising restaurants and they say it's the worst food I've ever eaten, and it's like, that's acceptable. But when it comes to religion, and you criticise it using quite perhaps strong language, which maybe is necessary in the case of Dawkins. Like, I think he's a lot more of an atheist than me. He's a lot more outspoken about it, and yeah, maybe he does go a little bit too far, but maybe that's necessary. Or maybe I just believe that because I've listened to religious arguments state that Dawkins is too atheist. He is too atheistic in his views, and he's not open enough to the possibilities of there being a God or there being religion. But the truth is, he finds his beliefs on a basis of science. He acknowledges that there's no way that we can know for certain that something is true or something is the way it is. We can just look at the evidence, what we've got to support our claims, like evolution, for example. It's like, we don't know evolution is definitely a thing, but we've certainly got a lot of evidence which points towards it being the reason that we are the way we are today, and the reason everything is the way it is today. Whereas with religion, it's really just people who throw out that argument, and then you can go back at them and say, well, where's your evidence for this God? It's like, we're relying on almost feelings or just inclinations or religious scriptures and like the Bible or the Quran to give us evidence for God. I'm really hesitant to use the word evidence in the terms of religion, because it's not evidence. It's just writing, and we're expected to believe it. And religion was once our only way of and best way of describing why things are the way they are in the world today. But now that science has come along, it almost offers us a better explanation. So perhaps we should be willing to let go of religion. And yeah, well, this is what atheists believe anyway. But I also like Jordan Peterson, and he makes a good case for religion. Yeah, this video was meant to be about morality, but I didn't really go down that path, and it's gonna cut out in a minute anyway, so I might as well end off here. But yeah, we don't need religion for morality debatably. Oh, I've got so much more to say. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with this in a part 3 or something.